Okay, hello everybody and welcome. Welcome, my friends. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. And I welcome you this lovely Monday, the 28th of 2018, the 28th of May 2018, excuse me, to the first of two gameplay streams, a full day. An absolutely full day of live streaming for you guys, even though in the United States of America, today is actually a national holiday called Memorial Day. And so before we even begin with anything today, I would like to say to those of you who are American like me, no matter what you're doing today, whether you are watching a live stream, whether you're celebrating with friends and family, whether you're having a nice food cookout, which is a traditional thing that people do on Memorial Day, all right, whatever it may be that you are doing today as a form of whatever, please at least take a moment to remember the memory of those who we have lost who were serving in the military. The United States of America is a world superpower, all right, and a lot of our freedoms that we enjoy are solely because you have a military presence that allows us to protect those freedoms. And those who have sacrificed and given their lives in order to allow us to continue to live in peace and to have the freedoms that we have should be remembered, should be applauded, and, should never be forgotten. So, taking a quick moment here on stream to just give a shout out to the military and those who we have lost. Thank you very much for your service. All right. So, happy Memorial Day, everybody. Today, a lot of people celebrate in different ways. Over the years, I've done various things on Memorial Day. When I was much younger, I used to go to a video game tournament of all things. It was actually the East Coast Championships, the biggest Street Fighter tournament in the entire eastern United States that I used to go to, down in Dunellen, New Jersey, a video game arcade called 8 on the Break. And it was people like Todd Dwyer and Jet Fee, who would run an awesome tournament. Always a good time, even though sometimes so many people showed up, it was very hard to be efficient. They always did a great job. Everyone always enjoyed playing at the East Coast Championships on Memorial Day weekend out in New Jersey. That was back in the day, okay? And then, later on, I would do things for myself, either cook out myself or go to a friend's house who would be cooking out. So, yeah, Memorial Day, different ways that you can celebrate, right? Today, I am streaming all day. So, welcome to everyone here who is here live with me. I want to say thank you to everyone who is taking the time away, possibly from your Memorial Day. I do realize that even though I do have a large international viewer base, I believe on Twitch it's a 60-40 split. I think like 50 to 60% of my viewers are American and 40% are international. It's actually less on YouTube. On YouTube, I think it's up between 60 to 70 are American and the rest are international. But I digress. Thank you for joining me today on stream and making it part of your Memorial Day celebrations. And if you're not in America, well, just thanks for coming by, okay? All right, we've got a lot to talk about today, guys. I've got positive updates. I've got news regarding this week coming up. Lots of fun stuff that I hope you guys are about to enjoy. All right? So, first of all, before we even start with the schedule or anything, one thing I want to cover, because this has been a burning question for a lot of people for a while, and I understand why, the upcoming Patron's Choice playthrough. The candidates for the 10 games that are in the voting for this Patron's Choice playthrough have been determined. All right? There was a lot of nominations. In fact, I think there were like 40-plus nominations for games. And I do want to say thank you to all the April patrons, people who pledged to my Patreon in the month of April, who helped out with figuring out what games would be, coming up for this poll. And the poll is now live, and those patrons are now voting on this poll, okay? So what are the games? What are the games that are in the running for the upcoming Patron's Choice playthrough? Allow me to tell you. Here they are, the 10 games in the poll. We've got Assassin's Creed Rogue, Half-Life 2, The Simpsons Hit and Run, Silent Hill Shattered Memories, Jak 3, Eternal Darkness, Danganronpa Ultra Despair Girls, A Hat in Time, Nier Automata, running through the plot lines B, C, and D, because I already completed A, and Final Fantasy IX. So that is one hell of a wide variety of games right there. So yeah, right now the patrons are voting. The poll opened last night, and so we haven't even had a full day yet of voting yet. If you were a patron in the month of April, please head over to the forums and vote. Okay, please do so, because the poll will be open for roughly 2 weeks. Okay, and then it's pretty much going to be right after E3, because 2 weeks from now would be around the 10th. So actually, we'll probably be around that E3 week. I will close off the poll. We'll determine who is the winner, what game is the winner of the Patron's Choice playthrough, and then basically when I run out of new games to play. Right now, keep in mind, I'm in the middle of Detroit. We got H1Z1, we got the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. Next week, we've got Vampire and Shaq Fu, and I believe there's actually another game next week, too, that people have been telling me about. I guess it's supposed to be like a horror game that I may be looking into as well. Then we got Jurassic World Evolution and everything going around at E3. So once all that stuff finally calms down, I will, sometime in June, be starting up this Patron's Choice playthrough. Alright, so that way, we'll have a fun downtime game to play, along with all the other new releases and everything. Alright, so, very nice. I am excited to see what people vote for. Thank you guys very much for voting. Okay, that's number one. Number two, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been around for the past few days, you missed out on the big news. We hit the subscriber goal on my channel here on Twitch for the month of May. This is amazingly awesome. Thank you guys very much for your support. That means I will be doing the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection Master Run Challenge. This will be starting sometime in June. I'm going to set up a time. Once again, things die down a little bit, and it's not so crazy with new releases and E3 coverage and stuff like that. All right. So that being said, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a 7 to 8 hour marathon where I'm going to attempt to beat all 11 arcade modes of the competitive games, all the versions of Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Alpha, and Street Fighter 3, back to back to back at the hardest level difficulty, and I'm not going to be using the same character every time. I'm going to be trying to beat it with a different character every single game, okay? So that's pretty good fun and pretty crazy, but also it's probably going to be very challenging and rage-inducing, because this game freaking cheats. It literally reads your button inputs and cheats like fucking crazy. It's going to be really difficult to do. Alright. So, that being said, folks, pretty awesome. Thank you guys again for your support. I do appreciate that. Alright. FYI, guys, yes, tomorrow the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection coverage starts, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. I am planning on hopefully playing the game on different consoles. I am going to begin on PS4, but I've already had an offer. Someone said they're going to send me an e-voucher code on the Nintendo Switch so that I have the credit on the eShop to buy the game on the Switch. I already was told about 2 to 3 weeks ago that someone was going to send me a code for the Xbox One version of the game as well, but that person seems to have vanished. I don't know where they went. They might have just been full of duty and never were serious about it. So I don't know if I'll be playing it on the Xbox One or not. I'm not against it. And certainly if people are loving my coverage of the collection and people are craving me to play people on Xbox One, I would consider buying it. But for now, I'm starting on PS4, and it looks like I'm probably getting it on the Switch. Okay? So there you go. Good stuff. I also have another announcement I want to make now for the first time. Normally, I would do my show Ask the King, which is my bi-monthly Q&A show, where I take your questions and I answer them on stream. Normally, I would do that every other month, which means the next episode would be in June. However, I am shifting the schedule, and here's why. I want to bring back my podcast. If you guys aren't aware, I have not done a podcast. Shit. I don't even know if I've done one this year. Honestly, I don't know if I did a podcast this year. Holy crap. I really don't think I did. Now that I'm thinking about it, I can't remember the last podcast I did. So guess what? I am bringing back my Hate Live podcast, a special E3 edition. That is right. It's coming back in the month of June. So we're going to have all that E3 coverage, all those E3 press conferences. We're going to have all these announcements of all these new games at E3. And then that week of E3, probably that Thursday, so that's the 14th of June, I'm going to be doing a Hate Live podcast, the big E3 recap. I'm going to go through all the stuff at E3, I'm going to tell you the stuff I liked, the stuff I didn't like, the highs, the lows. I get the feeling we're going to have a lot to talk about considering that this E3 looks like it's stacking up to be a huge one, okay? So, yeah, that week I'll be doing a Hate Live podcast, bringing it back, and I think it's going to be awesome. I hope you guys are excited for that, okay? That means Ask the King will not be in June, and I will push it to July. So the next episode of Ask the King will be the the fourth, the last Thursday of July, which I think is the 25th of July. So for those who have already posted up your questions on my forums at thekingofhate.com, don't worry, those are still valid. All I did is I changed the date in the forums, so that way the date is correct. But yes, the Ask the King will not take place in July. Hate Live returns next month for E3. Should be pretty fun. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's any other major news announcements that I want to cover for you guys before we get to the usual stuff. No, I guess not. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to roughly run through the schedule for this week so you guys know exactly what you can expect. Here live on my streams, I'm going to be here for the next 5 days, okay? Straight back-to-back without any time off. Double stream days. I hope you guys are excited. Here's what you can expect here today on this first gameplay stream. It's going to be 4+ hours of Detroit Become Human. Thank you very much, guys, by the way, for your attendance on the Detroit streams since it premiered on Friday. Also on YouTube, the views are very good. So I'm very pleased with the fact that people came out to watch me play this game. Thank you guys very much for the support. Today, what's on the agenda? Well, number one, I want to finish up my first run through the game. I've been playing this game since Friday, and I played it for around 6 hours on Friday and around 3.5 hours yesterday, so we're about 9.5 hours into the game. I haven't beaten it yet, and people are saying there's still about 2 hours left. So in reality, if you actually play the game well, it could get 12+ hours of gameplay on your first run, which of course is ridiculous because a lot of people claim the game's only 8 to 10 hours long. That's only true if you suck. You know, if you're terrible at quick time events and you got everyone killed early in the game and half the scenes don't happen, yeah, you could probably beat the game in 7 to 8 hours. But if you're not terrible, you can actually get everyone to live, and the game's quite long. Alright, so I am going to be finishing up my initial run of Detroit right now live on stream. Then, once we finish with the initial run, I'm going to be starting up my second run, okay? So this is going to be me making completely different choices from my first playthrough on purpose. I'm probably going to try to be hyper-aggressive with Marcus, which was not what I was in the first playthrough. I might try to be like a dick with Connor, or purposely with Connor, try not to find any of the androids or whatever, right? Like, remember, I was finding the androids or whatever in this first playthrough. With Kara, I can't wait to see what happens with Kara. Different things that happen in the house when the abusive father is going to do stuff to Alice. Can you stop him early? You know, what can you do to change the situation? I'm very interested to see the different outcomes I can do there. Okay, so there you go. It's going to be pretty great, and I'm definitely looking forward to not only concluding my initial run to see how the story ends with all the choices I've made, but then starting up my second run. So that's this first gameplay stream today. Later tonight, I'll be returning to H1Z1. Yes, I almost said survival horror. The Battle Royale game that just released on consoles last week. Sadly, the first few days that it was out on PS4, it did not work very well. It was very, very hard to get matches. However, last time that I played it, which was Thursday night, I had tons of luck. I was getting match after match, and I was having a lot of fun playing the game. People really seem to enjoy seeing me play this game because it is very different from PUBG, being fast-paced, a much higher frame rate. In my opinion, the guns work better. So I'm liking this game a ton, and I want to play more of it tonight. So that's going to be tonight's second stream, roughly around 6:15, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. In between the streams, I'll be taking a break, and guess what I'm eating today? Hot dogs. In honor of Memorial Day, when most people cook out, I'm going to be making hot dogs. I probably am not going to have a hot dog. I think I'm going to have chicken sausage, but Kat is going to have some hot dogs, and we're going to have French fries. So a traditional American meal for an American holiday. Should be pretty cool. All right. So that's today. Tomorrow, the premiere of the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, ladies and gentlemen. I'm super stoked for this. I hope you guys are too. I mean, 12 different freaking games, 4 of which have online, multiplayer capabilities. All right. One of which, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, the game that I'm the best at competitively in Street Fighter to the point where I was winning tournaments. I was ranked at Evo, right? I was doing really good back in the day when I would play this game competitively. But in addition to that, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, a game that I absolutely love and got pretty good at over the years. At this point, I'm probably quite rusty, but I love that game. And Street Fighter Alpha 3, a game that I'm not very good at all, but has a ridiculous amount of characters. It could be quite a fun game to play online. Okay, it's going to be awesome. So tomorrow, the big premiere of Street Fighter, and I hope that you guys are excited for this as much as I am. Being someone who grew up in American arcades, playing the Street Fighter games on arcade cabinets during my entire run in the 1990s. I mean, it was pretty much my pastime. Every weekend, every Friday, Saturday night, I would head out to the arcades and play these games. I'm very, very much looking forward to this collection and getting that nostalgia vibe back and having a lot of fun with you guys. So tomorrow, I'm going to be playing this game all day long. And I've been taking some feedback as to what you guys would like to see me do first. It seems, at least based off of comments here on the stream, and also on the comments of my weekend preview video that I released last night, people seem to want me to do Super Turbo first. I think what I'm going to do is hold a poll tonight, and it's going to be out of the 4 games that are in the collection, which do you want to see me play the most? And the choices will be the 4 games that are available to be played online, which is Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, the 3rd game in the Street Fighter 2 iterations, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, which is the 5th and final game in the Street Fighter 2 iterations, and then Street Fighter Alpha 3 and Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. And maybe based off of your feedback will determine the order I play stuff. Although I'm not 100% going to adhere to it, we'll see. But I think most people want to see me play Super Turbo first, only because I've been playing Ultra Street Fighter 2 all year. And now that I finally retired the game, I think people want to see if this version, the collection, is going to be better and hold up better than that did. Okay? So I guess we're going to find out. Should be exciting. I'm very excited for this tomorrow. Okay? Then, Wednesday, I'm going to mix it up. I'm still going to do Street Fighter on my first stream. But then Wednesday night, I'm going to continue on with my second run in Detroit Become Human. Okay? Thursday, more than likely, it's exactly the same, where I'll be doing more Street Fighter. It'll be probably a different game or whatever. And then it'll be more Detroit Become Human at night. And then Friday, it'll be Street Fighter paired with more H1Z1. Okay? So it should be a lot of fun. All right? Should be a ton of fun this week. I'm very much looking forward to this week. I certainly hope you guys are as well. Will I eventually be holding lobbies to fight people in Street Fighter? Yes. Am I doing it right away? No. What I want to do is obviously experience all the games first and then say, okay, now let's open a lobby, let's have people come challenge me, etc. So it is coming, but for the first part, I'm probably just going to try the random online play, to start, see how that goes, and we'll go from there. All right. All right, guys. So thanks. Thanks for all of your support. I think now what we're going to do is do a plugs segment where I'm going to do my usual plugs. And then once the plug segment is over, I'm going to give you guys shout-outs for your contributions on the streams. Either cheering, subbing, or tipping. I'll give you your shout-outs before we start. And then we're going to start up with Detroit, okay? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you. So much positive stuff going on right now. Seriously, so much awesome, positive, fun stuff. I'm very appreciative of you guys being so supportive of everything that's going on right now, okay? Thank you guys very much for that. 10 years, I have been a content creator for the internet. For 10 years, I've been covering video games via various methods. YouTube, live streams on various platforms, now, of course, on Twitch. And I'm very grateful to make that my job and to love what I do for a living. Thank you guys so much for the daily support. Watching my streams, watching my videos on YouTube, you guys are awesome. All that being said, the best way to support me always is to watch my content, of course. But if you would like to go above and beyond, if you would like to step up and do something even bigger than just being a standard viewer, there are a few methods by which you can help out and allow me to ensure that I could do this for a living. All right. The first is checking out my Patreon. And in particular, guys, there's only 3 days left this month. All right. Well, actually, I take it back. There's 3.5 days left this month, because today there's about a half day left, and there's 3 more days left in the month. All right. You have 3.5 days left to contribute to my Patreon and get in on my Patreon campaign for this month. All right. What does that mean? Well, you could check it out, first of all, at patreon.com/DarkSidePhil. And what it means is that you can contribute to my Patreon at various monetary levels. And depending on what you contribute, you earn personal perks that are basically ways for me to give back to you, okay? So, for example, first of all, if you pledge, you help me out directly with everything regarding the cost of operating this business, like the cost of internet, the cost of games, the cost of electricity, the cost of equipment, the cost of my freaking taxes, which are crazy, being self-employed, all right? All that stuff. But in addition to all of that, you earn fun stuff. For example, you can earn the ability to get text or verbal thank you shout-outs in my YouTube videos. You can earn the ability to nominate games for events. As I've mentioned on this stream, people nominated games for the Patron's Choice playthrough, and now they're voting. So you can have the ability to nominate and vote on games by becoming a patron, all right? You can get your questions answered on my bi-monthly Q&A show, Ask the King. Or you can even get a private Q&A video made where I just sit down for 20 to 30 minutes and I just answer your personal questions in a video made just for you, all right? Pretty awesome stuff. I'm not going to go into massive detail about it. All I want to say is, 3.5 days left to pledge. This helps me tremendously. And right now, guys, if you pledge to my Patreon, it would help me out a ton because all of my bills are coming due for the month. They all basically come due the first week or two of every month. And it's very hectic and very tight unless I have a really good month. I'll be honest with you guys, it's been pretty slow because the months recently have been very slow for new releases. In particular, May's been really good, but it's going to be a couple of months until I see the money from May. So right now, if you pledge to my Patreon, you're helping me out tremendously. And you're going to earn perks that are going to be given to you in the month of June. So you have 3.5 days left to get in on this campaign for May and get your rewards in June, okay? Please check it out, patreon.com/darksidefil. Thanks, guys, so much for your support, all right? Number 2, there is my Teespring shop, my merchandise store, okay? In my merchandise store, you can buy all kinds of fun stuff, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, stickers, and mugs. Great quality merchandise that I can personally attest to because I use it on a daily basis. In fact, I'll show you guys. The mug that I use here on stream every day is the Teespring mug. The Darkside Phil King design, which is really awesome, okay? And I own t-shirts, sweatshirts, all bunch of stuff I own personally. I can attest that the quality of stuff is great. Anything you buy at my Teespring shop helps me out tremendously because I get a commission from it, okay? So please give it a look as well over at teespring.com/stores/DSPGAMING. Anything you buy, helps me, but you get a cool collectible as well, so it's a win-win, right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you were here live on the stream, all right, and I say that because some people do watch this pre-stream on demand on YouTube. I'm well aware of some people, they watch the recording, okay? But if you are live on the stream, and you are excited, you like the stuff I've been doing with Detroit, in general, you just support, my daily content, and you want to get a shout out during the stream while you show your support, you can do 3 different things to earn a shout out. You can either cheer with bits, you can subscribe to this channel, or you could tip me, all right? If you do any of those 3 things, you will get a shout out for your contributions during the live stream. Now, understand a couple things. First of all, Detroit Become Human is a very narrative-based game. If I'm in the middle of a very important cutscene or a quick-time event, no, I'm not going to stop everything in order to give you a shout-out. However, so far, so good. I played this game for 2 days, and the shout-outs have fit in nicely, so I'm going to try to keep up the flow of things, all right? Now, there's a couple criteria you need to abide by if you'd like to get a shout-out on the stream. The first is please be as concise and short-worded as possible. The more abridged you are in your message, the bigger chance I'm going to read the whole thing and react to it. If you give me a giant paragraph as a shout-out message, chances are I'm not going to stop for 5 minutes to read your whole paragraph and then derail the entire gameplay stream. That would be kind of ridiculous, okay? So please be as brief as possible. Number 2, please, guys, be positive. Please be respectful. Please try to keep the stream vibe up. Please don't bring drama, negativity, toxicity into the chat. And what I mean by that is, please don't cheer and say, oh, did you hear some guys insulting you? Oh, Phil, this guy's a huge jerk. Phil, what do you think about this asshole? None of that shit should be allowed on the stream. Real talk, guys. This is a positive gameplay stream. It's meant to be a place of fun where we can all hang out and enjoy video games together. This is not a place to bring in all that crap. It's just not. I don't want that here. I've been doing a pretty good job of keeping this drama-free recently, and I want to keep it that way. All right, so please, let's keep the drama out of the stream, and please be respectful of others. Please don't bring up politics or religion, which are very hot topics that everyone disagrees on and is just going to start fighting. This is certainly not the place for that, okay? So thanks, guys. In general, I'd say about 95% of the people who do try to get a shout-out during the streams get it. There's always the few bad apples or the people who just don't understand, and they try to bring it up. Chances are, guys, I'm just not going to read those messages, all right? It is my subjective decision what I read and don't read on my own streams. There's no commitment that I have to read anything, all right? So thank you to those who do contribute. In general, the streams stay very positive and fun, and let's keep it that way, all right? Now, if you would like to get a visual recognition for your contributions as well, you can do so. How do you do it? Well, if you cheer 50 bits or more, or if you subscribe on the channel, to the channel, and then you wait a minute or two, and a share button should appear if you click on that share button. Or if you tip me $5 or more at a time. If you do any of those things, an on-screen animation will play as a means to say thank you for your contributions, okay? Pretty awesome. And these are actually designed by longtime viewer and fan Popsicolo. He's also a chat mod. Shout out to him. And by the way, I should say another shout out to him, guys. He is going to reinvigorate our emotes here in the chat. He's actually working on designing some Street Fighter-related emotes for us. Because the anniversary collection releases tomorrow. I plan on playing the collection not only as a new release this week, but as an ongoing thing that I play from time to time as, you know, a fighting game aficionado. I'm probably going to be playing it, you know, weekly, okay, at the very least, long term. So having emotes that apply to it would make sense. And what we're going to probably do is get rid of a few of the older emotes, including the Dragon Ball related ones, probably the Batfill emote. We're going to get rid of a few old ones and add a few new ones, Street Fighter ones, okay? So it should be pretty awesome. I hope you guys are excited. That's coming up shortly, all right? So another reason to subscribe, right? All right, so thanks for all of that. Just a reminder, if you do subscribe to the channel, you get awesome benefits. We've already hit the monthly goal, but if you subscribe right now, you will get many benefits, including access to all the emotes, including the upcoming new Street Fighter ones. You'll also get the cool Chat Crown badge to show that you're an ongoing supporter. Starts out as bronze, but it upgrades to silver, gold, and diamond, depending on how long you are a sub, okay? And in addition to all of that, when I run advertisements, you don't have to see them. It allows you to skip the ads, which is pretty good, because no one likes ads. Let's face it, none of us do, okay? I'm advertising right now and you guys hate it. So the less ads, the better, okay? Please consider subscribing to the channel. Now, last thing, guys, before we get to shoutouts, all right? Right now, I'm in the midst of all my bills are about to clear, including my mortgage, my credit cards, my loans, all of my monthly payments, my utilities. Everything clears within the first week and a half, 2 weeks of the month, all right? So right now, I'm in a big financial crunch. If you would like to help out and you would like to contribute today, obviously you could cheer, sub, or tip, but the preferred method for the next week or two would be a tip. If you could tip me right now, it will help me tremendously. That money that you tip me, I get right away, versus if you do cheer or sub, it takes 2 months for that to clear. So it's awesome. I do appreciate the cheers and the subs. But right now, tips in particular will help me out more than anything. So please consider tipping if you can. So how do you tip? Because it is separate from the cheering and subbing system, which is all built into Twitch. It's completely separate from that. There's 2 ways that you can tip me during the live stream. The first is that if you are watching live right now and you scroll below my stream, you may see a grid of information, including the stream rules and a link to my YouTube channel, DSP Gaming. But there may be another button there that says Tips Jar. And if you click on that, you can either leave an anonymous tip or your name in a message if you'd like to get a shout out on the stream for your contribution, all right? That's awesome. But maybe if you scroll down, you don't see any of that information I just described. Chances are, if that's the case, you are on a mobile version of the website, okay? The mobile version does not display any of that stuff. If that is the case, you can type !tip into the stream chat. Boop. That will bring up the tips command. And then you'll have a link on the screen where you can click, and it brings you right to the tips page, and you can leave me a tip via PayPal through that method as well, all right? Again, tips helping me out tremendously. I need your support right now, guys. If you are going to contribute and you have the option to choose, tipping is the best way to help out right now, and I do appreciate anything you guys contribute, okay? All right, now let's get to shout-outs. Let's get to shout-outs for your contributions, ladies and gents, all right? So, let me scroll all the way down here, because we had some people who overnight contributed, and it's always nice to give credit where credit is due to those who contribute overnight, because there are people who actually keep me in mind when I'm not streaming. And that's a freaking awesome feeling. Because the bottom line is, guys, you guys have busy lives. I know it. We all have our own stuff going on. And although you like to watch my streams, right, you got your own stuff going on. And the fact that you even think about me when I'm not live streaming is pretty damned awesome. And I want to say thanks to anyone who keeps me in mind and contributes when I'm not live. So in particular, thanks to the following people who did actually contribute overnight. Here we go. We've got Infinite55, who did a 100-bit cheer. Thank you, Infinite, for the cheer. Anonymosaurus Rex resubbed for the 11th month in a row. And he said, live long and prosper. Thank you very much, sir, for the resub and 11 months of support. I appreciate that. Now, we had King Swaggins did a couple cheers here. Let's see what he had to say. First of all, King Swaggins cheered, and he said, dude, I was going for as many trophies in my first run in Detroit as I could get. When I beat the game, I shit you not, 9 trophies popped up at the same time. It was absolutely insane. Never in my life have I seen that. Well, I'm assuming once you beat the game does some calculations, some post-game calculations. And I'm thinking probably if you keep certain characters alive, you get a trophy. If you did certain amount of things a certain amount of times during the game, like for example, oh, you read all the magazines, you probably get a trophy. You know, I'm sure there's like an end game tally that happens, being that the nature of this game is such a branching path game, that probably at the end it does a final calculation and then awards you the trophies based off of your performance. So that's pretty awesome. Will I be getting 9 trophies at the end of my run? Probably not. But that's pretty cool that the game does, you know, hand out the different trophies for different situations. It definitely is one of those games you want to play it more than once. You'll want to go through it more than once and go for the different scenarios and see what happens for sure. All right, so King Swaggin's cheered again. And he says, I 100% have liked this game more than Heavy Rain. This is one of the best games I've played in a while. You said in your weekend preview, it's on track to be the best Quantic Dream game. What do you think makes this game better than Heavy Rain? I don't name Beyond Two Souls, because that game was a huge step down, even though it was still fun on the first run. Well, here's the thing. In my opinion, Detroit takes the best of all of these style of games and combines it. So it's got the investigation proceedings of a game like L.A. Noire. It combines it with the branching dialogue options of previous Quantic Dream games, as well as the Telltale games. It's got interrogation segments, okay? Similar to, say, L.A. Noire. It's got really good graphics. The plot is gripping. The 3 main characters are all unique and different and interesting with different styles of gameplay, right? In one case, you're leading a whole revolution. In another case, you're actually a detective. And in a third case, you're basically a fugitive. So it really is 3 different plots that are kind of intersecting and converging. And I like that the game has that variety. If you were only following one protagonist a la Beyond Two Souls, that's when it might have gotten a little boring. But because the game has these 3 completely different scenarios running, it seems pretty damned interesting. And it's fun and refreshing to jump between the 3 characters. Also, as we've already discussed, the game has giant branching paths. And after you play through it once, you can play through it again. And I know for a fact these characters can die. That'll change the game up. So, much like with Heavy Rain, where my first run, I desperately tried to keep everyone alive, and I did, but I didn't necessarily get the best scenario outcome at the end. All right. When I played it again, I tried to get people killed. I tried to do different things. It was fun. The same thing here with Detroit. So you're talking basically the best of all the different genres of this kind of narrative-based game that have been out ever combined into one game. The one complaint I've heard from people is some people don't like the plot. They feel that it's far too heavy-handed. It's too similar to things such as like the civil rights movement in the United States for African Americans, or the persecution of the Jews by the Nazis during World War II. And I totally get those comparisons. I think the game's doing it on purpose. What it's attempting to do is to show that even in modern society, these things could happen again if we're not careful. And I like that. But a lot of people are just like, meh, it's too heavy-handed, it's too obvious, it's too straightforward. Why couldn't the game be nuanced? I hate to say is these hipster SJW types, right? They focus so much on people being mistreated and civil rights being mistreated and stuff. Then they finally see a game where the main focus is that, and they complain. And the problem is they're looking for some kind of crazy new revolutionary thing to be done or some nuanced twist. Listen, sometimes you don't need nuance. Sometimes it's okay to just be straight fucking forward in storytelling. I'm sorry. I definitely enjoy the game. Some people don't. But I'm not that picky. I think the game is great, all right? So I do personally think that this game is probably the best game Quantic Dream has put out. Okay. All right, shout out to Third Eye the Third, who cheered and said Connor is a very pretty man. First of all, Third Eye the Third, Connor is not a man. Connor is an android. I think that's the whole point of the game. Now, is he alive? Maybe, maybe not. We're not sure, right? But that's one of the main plot lines of the game. Are androids alive? Do they deserve the same rights as humans? But he's not human. All right, so he's not a pretty man. He's a pretty android. There you go. All right, guys. Now let's get to shout-outs for people who contributed during this live stream. We start off with Middle Class Liberal Softy, who tipped me $5. Thank you very much for the tip. That's a good way to start because, like I said, the tips are the best way to contribute today to help me out. So thank you, Middle Class Liberal Softy, for the tip. And he says, I love your Quantic Dream playthroughs. Where would you rank this game among your other Quantic Dream playthroughs? Now, see, this is a different question. This isn't how do you rank this game among the games Quantic Dream has made. This is how do you rank this game among your other playthroughs. I don't know. I think that the Detroit Become Human. The Beyond Two Souls playthrough was good. I think this playthrough is better. Overall, I think there's more to joke about in this playthrough. And it's not about an awkward girl having interactions with a supposed supernatural being, which is kind of weird. This is more straightforward. I've been able to make some pretty cool observational humor that I think people have really enjoyed. I think this playthrough is better than my Beyond Two Souls playthrough. Is it better than Heavy Rain? That's a hard way to call because Heavy Rain was the very first style of this kind of game that I ever did a playthrough of. And so it was pretty hilarious. I edited in hot dogs for penises. And I mean, back then, by the way, humor on YouTube was very different. I did a lot more crude style humor and people liked it a lot. Versus now, you do that humor, everyone gets offended, right? It was a different era back then. And everyone does hold up my original Heavy Rain playthrough as one of my best one ever in all the stuff I've ever done for the internet in the past 10 years. So it would be very hard for me to say, oh yeah, Detroit Become Human is my best playthrough ever for Quantic Dream. Definitely, I don't think I'm going to go that far. All right, I don't. So I think I'd probably say my original Heavy Rain run is still the best. This may be second, because Indigo Prophecy was good, but that game's friggin' weird. Like, that game really it's a very early game for Quantic Dream, and it has a lot of problems. And a lot of rage-inducing moments, too, where the game's just really annoying as fuck. I do think this game's much better than Indigo Prophecy. So, I would say Indigo Prophecy, that's still good, a good run, but I think this one's pretty much maybe the second best ever. Let's put it that way. Alright, so Sedella cheered, and he said, shout out to all the people who risked their life. Then he cheered again. He said, oops, made a mistake, meant to say risked their life. So he's talking about Memorial Day. Yes, again, many props, much respect to those in the American Armed Forces who have given their lives to allow us to live the kind of lives that we all lead. Thank you very much for your service. And thank you for the cheers, Sedella. Shout out to the Honest Troll, who did a 25-bit cheer. He said, just curious, who's your favorite comedian? I don't really have one. Over the years, there were many people who I found funny. Jerry Seinfeld, Chris Rock, Tim Allen. In particular, even though he's not officially a comedian, Howard Stern and all of his kind of comedic staff from over the years, like Artie Lang and Fred Norris. Those kind of guys have been really funny. Definitely, I would say Trey Stone and Matt Parker, the creators of South Park, have done so much stuff over the years, including South Park, Team America, World Police, among other stuff. That's just been really hilarious. Mel Brooks, again, he's not a comedian, but he is a comedic filmmaker. I love Mel Brooks movies. I would also say people like Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Harold Ramis back in the day. He used to make a ton of hilarious comedy movies. That's my style of humor. All the people I just described is my style of humor. You've probably seen over the last 10 years that style of humor always come through in my videos and gameplay. And that's why. These are the people who kind of have inspired me over the years to be the comedic person that I am. So there you go. Giving some props. Sound good? All right. Let's continue, guys. Oh, but I would also say this. Yes, Stinkin' Burrow said Dave Chappelle. Absolutely. I would say that. He's probably like the latest influence because that was kind of the era when I was, I was impressionable and the early 2000s, and the Dave Chappelle show was huge on Comedy Central, and I loved that show. So definitely Dave Chappelle as well. Got to give him a shout out. Absolutely. Okay. Metal Gear Rex has resubscribed for the 4th month in a row. I'm aware that it was Infinite55 who gifted him that sub. So congratulations to Metal Gear Rex for getting a 4-month sub. And thank you to Infinite for the support. In fact, what I will do, guys, by the end of the pre-stream, I'll let you guys know how we're doing subs-wise. When I last checked, we're in the 430s. Maybe we'll even hit 450 this month, which, by the way, was the original goal. So I guess we'll find out. Shout out to Winter Wolfie, who subscribed to the channel for the 4th month in a row as well. And says, 4 months already, stay well, Phil. Thank you very much, Winter Wolfie, for the resub. I do appreciate that. Judicious Echoes did a 200-bit cheer. He says, as a vet, I appreciated Ask the King in January of 2016 and your heartfelt views of the military in it. Well, in particular, Judicious Echoes, I do not recall the exact episode of Ask the King from over 2 years ago. But I have always respected the military. You got to really respect people who give massive amounts of self-sacrifice. This is not only their time. Keep in mind, I'm a believer that we get one life to live on this planet. Some people believe in reincarnation and stuff like that. I believe we get one life to live on Earth, all right? And for someone to step up and to say, I'm going to dedicate a time in my life and to the point where I'm going to risk my life, I might even give my life in order to serve in a military service to protect the peaceful people of a nation, a sovereign nation. That is an amazing amount of sacrifice. You got to realize these are people's lives that go on hold. Some people, they could either be going to school or have a normal a job, in normal civilian life, and instead they say, no, I'm going to forego all of that. I'm going to put my whole life on the line in order to make sure this country keeps operating in a peaceful method in the way that it works, and stand up for the things that we believe in as ideals, right? Truth, justice, and the American way in a lot of ways. Defending those freedoms. That is an amazing thing that should be applauded and respected. A lot of people insult the military. Those are just a bunch of meatheads, a bunch of jarheads, and they're stupid. They're just out there to be grunts. That's fucked up. I'm sorry. That's some fucked up reasoning. The fact that these people have an intense bravery and the fact that they serve our country in such a huge self-sacrifice kind of way, they need to be respected and applauded. And by the way, I will say this too. I feel that a lot of our military that come back from having service are not treated properly. They are not welcomed back in the way that they should be. In a lot of cases, they come back, they can't get jobs. All right. And that's messed up. These people should be respected and treated with utmost respect and have the ability to come back and now have a normal civilian life after serving. They shouldn't come back to, oh, well, by the way, because you were in the military for 10 years, now you have no job skills, and now we can't get you a job anywhere, and now you got to go beg on the street for money because you're a vet. Like, that's insanity, and this is the reality for some of these veterans coming back. I mean, we're in a situation in America where a lot of things are screwed up. Let's face it, okay? Veterans deserve better in the United States, and I've always been of that opinion, okay? I don't talk about it a lot, because it's not a subject that comes up on gameplay streams. It's not a subject that comes up in my style of content very often. But I've always felt that way, and I guess today on Memorial Day is a great day to finally at least talk about it a little bit publicly. So again, I got to say once more time, thank you guys very much. Anyone out there who's served the United States military, your service is greatly respected, and I do personally thank you very much for your help. Okay. No, Washington Sasquatch, I've never shit on the military in a previous video, and if you continue to say stupid shit like that, you're going to get my boot to your ass, because you're now pissing me off to even say something like that in the stream chat. So wake the fuck up. Trying to stir up shit in the stream chat. Alright. My mom, what a name, my mom, even that's not how it's spelled, just cheered. He says, Phil, we are Polish, and we like your stream. Do you like Poland or Polish food? Honestly, I don't know much about Poland at all. I do know about Polish food because my mom is half Polish. So she grew up making us the Polish pierogies. It's those potato pasta. It's a handmade pasta with cheese and potato inside. She'd fry that up with onions, okay? She would make a kibasi, Polish kibasi. If you don't know what that is, it's a Polish sausage that doesn't taste like traditional sausage. It doesn't really have any spiciness to it. It's more like a mild or salty kind of sausage that you would make with various different ingredients. She makes Polish pastries every Christmas. She would make these hand-rolled pastries that I still don't know what the hell the name of them are. But think a jelly roll, only it's not made of like cake. It's made of like a crusty brown bread. And inside there'd be various different fillings, including prune and raisin, poppy seed, and walnut. So that's a traditional Polish pastry that she learned from her family recipes. So I would have different Polish food around the house as I was growing up. And I never even really knew it was Polish until I got much older. And I realized I was like, my other friends don't eat this. What is this stuff? Oh, it's Polish food. It's cultural food that, oh, okay. See, I grew up thinking, oh, everyone eats homemade pasta sauce, right? Everyone makes a pot of pasta sauce at home. Everyone makes handmade pierogies, right? No, these are all cultural things that my mom brought over from her family recipes. I didn't know that until I was later. Or it was much later, so. Okay. Shout out to King Swaggins. He cheered. He says, bro, I had everyone survive in my run of Detroit. I still cried like a bitch during a few parts at the end. This game was great. It was an honor to play it. Very nice. Well, we're going to see that together today, guys, because we're at the end of the game. So let's see what happens. King Swaggins cheered again. He said, Phil, over the course of the game, you have been collecting points. You can use them to unlock extras. Some extras are videos on the characters. I haven't watched them yet myself. It's definitely worth checking out. The survey, too, when you have a chance. Hint, hint. King Swaggins cheered again. He says, Phil, what about me? I'm a professional comedian, too. No, you are not. Texas Test Tube cheered and said something very stereotypically Jewish. I don't know why he said this. I don't even know what this is a reference to. And so I'm not going to say it because I don't know if it's going to end up being insulting to someone. That's what I mean. When you guys are looking to get shout-outs, you got to be careful about what you say and how you say it. I have no idea why this guy's saying oy vey and other stuff. I'm not going to do it. People might say, that's so insulting. It's a stereotypical Jewish talk. Blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm not going to do it then. Infinite 55 just cheered 224 bits. Not only does this make you the cheerleader for the day, this makes you the cheerleader for the week. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot to mention this on pre-stream, our cheer leaderboard has reset. It always resets between Sunday night and Monday. So right now is a great opportunity if you want to get into the top 10 cheerers, all right? Now is your chance because the leaderboard is incredibly low. In fact, in just a moment, I will read through and let you guys know who the top 10 are. But at this point, we probably don't even have 10 people. So there you go. Anyway, Infinite just cheered. And he said, if you were to choose one of the games that is currently being voted for to play in Patron's Choice, which one would you prefer? Well, let me take a look again at this list. Assassin's Creed Rogue, Half-Life 2, Simpsons Hit and Run, Silent Hill Shattered Memories, Jak 3, Eternal Darkness, Danganronpa Ultra Despair Girls, A Hat in Time, Nier Automata, and Final Fantasy IX. Alright. Real talk, I'd probably pick Half-Life 2, Simpsons Hit and Run, Silent Hill Shattered Memories, and Final Fantasy IX. Why did I pick those 4 games? Well, Half-Life 2 is a game that I attempted to play, no lie, probably 2 to 3 times myself solo over the years. Sadly, I never beat it. I always got like maybe 5 to 6 hours into the game, and I would get bored for some reason. I don't know if there's just a boring segment of the game that I would really not like, and I just didn't want to continue to play or whatever, but I never beat it. And so I ended up never completing it, and I also never played it for YouTube. So that's a game definitely I think would be cool to do a run through. Plus, if you guys haven't heard, Valve recently just announced they are starting game development again. So Half-Life 3, ladies and gentlemen, may actually be around the corner. So it may be a good time to play Half-Life 2. All right. Simpsons Hit and Run is a game people have asked me to play for years. They're basically saying it's the Simpsons Grand Theft Auto. And people apparently really like the game. But I never had a chance to play it for whatever reason. So obviously that sounds good. Silent Hill Shattered Memories, simply because it's Silent Hill and it's a game in the Silent Hill franchise I haven't played yet. I love the Silent Hill games. For survival horror, I would definitely like to play another one. All right. And Final Fantasy IX, here's another one. This is the only numbered Final Fantasy game I've never played outside of 14. So I've played every major numbered one and never played this one. I take it back because I did play it once for like 3 hours, and that was it. And I never got further. So people are telling me it's like one of the best. It plays like a traditional JRPG, turn-based combat. It has a great plot. People really love this game, and I've never experienced it. So that might be one of the best ones, for me to play as like a summer downtime playthrough. I don't know. But those would be the 4 that I would choose. All right. But it's not up to me. It's up to the patrons. So, those patrons can vote on what they want. They got about 2 weeks to do so. There you go. Okay, Timbo Slice cheered 30 bits and says the following. He says, Phil, do you think that Nintendo made a mistake by saying the Switch would have amazing third-party support, but it can't even get games like Call of Duty and even Fortnite to be on the system? I feel a little upset about the results of their support for the console so far. Timbo, I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. What does that mean? Nintendo had promised amazing, robust third-party support for the past 3 consoles that it released. The Wii did have robust third-party support, but most of the games on the Wii sucked. You could get Call of Duty on the Wii, and it was an inferior, watered-down, crappy-looking, poorly-performing version that no one wanted to buy or play. Okay? Then on the Wii U, again, Nintendo said, we're going to have amazing third-party support, and it literally got support maybe from 2 major studios, and then they dropped their support when no one bought the Wii U. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 3rd console, the 3rd straight Nintendo console that Nintendo claimed it would have outstanding third-party support for. All right? And what did you expect? Like, how did you not learn from the last 2 times they promised this, that this would happen? Now, in its defense, the Switch does have some great third-party games on it. The sad fact is those games perform very poorly compared to other console versions. For example, Skyrim, Doom. They hyped these games up tremendously, claiming they would run they're actually going to be on the Switch. Can you believe it? Those games run poorly. They run at 30 frames or less. The graphics don't look as good as other consoles. They're basically far inferior versions of those games. And by the way, you're paying full price. It's not like, oh, well, we know these versions are inferior, so we'll only charge you $30. No, they charge you the full fucking retail price for those games because they rip you off. All right? I mean, seriously. Now, again, it's not that the Switch has no third-party support. It does get third-party games, but it's usually after the fact, Of course, in some cases, the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, it is getting the game on launch day. That's a good thing, all right? But that's not par for the course. That's kind of the exception to the rule. It usually gets these major third-party games late. I mean, a perfect example here, Resident Evil 7 Cloud Edition. So apparently Resident Evil 7 is coming to the Switch, but the game is so large, it can't even store itself on the Switch. So it's going to be live streamed from the cloud, and you need a constant internet connection, a constant good internet connection, by the way, to even to play the game. I mean, how do you not realize this console is underpowered yet? I mean, holy crap. How much evidence do you need, right? So I'm sorry, but being real, yeah, the Switch ain't a great console. It's just not. It's amazing for first party. The third-party support is there, but it's inferior, far inferior to other consoles, yet you're paying full price for these inferior versions of games, and that's not cool. In addition, as Timbo brought up, yeah, there are major games that are not coming to the Switch that everyone wants to play. In particular, the Battle Royale craze has not come to the Switch at all, and that's sad. So, yeah, if you only buy the Switch, once again, for the 3rd straight console, you are basically kowtowing to Nintendo and saying, we understand we're going to have less games, inferior versions of games, just for the sake of owning the Nintendo console. Again, this is the 3rd straight console. If you got fooled again, that's your fault. I mean, it's pretty wild that people still at this day and age don't realize that Nintendo's console is inferior. Holy crap. Okay, shout out to Captain South Korea, who obviously is something, insensitive. They cheered and then said something like I was going to read it. That's racially insensitive. So congratulations to Captain South Korea. You're officially the first person today who I'm banning. Oh, you're already banned. No, wow. I didn't even have to. The mods already took care of it. So there you go. Wow. Alrighty then. All right. Shout out to Timbo Slice. Timbo says the following. He cheered again and he says, looks like WWE SmackDown will be moving back to network TV with Fox getting its rights in 2019, do you think that that's a good move? Best SmackDown days were when it was on network TV on UPN. It could be good or bad. You know, it could be good or bad. Obviously, it may mean more exposure for pro wrestling, mainstream television exposure, which it has not had in quite some time. I remember the last time it got mainstream television exposure a few years ago. They had that, what was it, Saturday Night Main Event. It was like a show they had on regular TV, and then they actually ran WrestleMania on regular TV, and literally nothing came of it, and it never happened again. So, you know, will we see any kind of an increase in quality? Will we see, more attention given to pro wrestling because it runs on a Fox channel? They say Fox. That doesn't mean the main Fox channel, by the way. I think everyone should understand that. Just because it says, oh, it's on Fox, okay, that doesn't mean that it's going to be on Fox, the main channel Fox. It could be on one of the affiliates. Fox has many affiliate channels, guys. I don't know if you're aware of that. But if it does air on the main Fox channel, I mean, that could be good. At the same time, it could be bad for people like me. And you might say, well, why is that? Why would it be bad? If you guys aren't aware, a lot of people don't have regular TV anymore. You know, the old days of having a cable network like Cablevision or Comcast or Time Warner, a lot of that's going away because people have found online streaming solutions. For example, I use PS View. All right, PS View is a service that costs me $30 a month. No, I take that back. It's $40 a month. Excuse me, $39.99. And for $40 a month, I get all the channels I want to watch on demand. Plus, there's live streaming of live channels, okay? Now, the problem is a lot of the live channels don't really like these services because they don't want to negotiate for pricing and stuff. So, for example, Fox channels, I don't get those live. But all the Fox shows, as soon as they air on TV, go on demand, and I'm able to watch them on demand at my leisure. So I still do watch some shows from Fox. I just watch them on demand rather than, live TV. I don't know if SmackDown goes to Fox, right? Will their shows be on demand available? How often will it be available right away? See what I mean? Like on USA it records and I can watch it on a DVR or I can watch on demand. And a lot of these networks are different. PS View versus YouTube TV versus, I'm sure there's like 20 others. All have different rights and permissions. So will they all be able to still watch? Are there going to be people who are adamant viewers of pro wrestling who now won't be able to watch the program because they're moving to a different style of network? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But, I mean, in general for the product, okay? In general for the product, it's a good move. And it obviously helps out to get more mainstream appeal. And they more than likely will get better advertisers. Because when you go from a network channel like USA to a prime channel, one of the main channels that has more viewership like the main Fox channel, you have the opportunity to get higher paid advertising and they're going to make more money on the move. So, yeah, it's a good move for them and it's probably going to help them out in the long run. Okay. Timbo Slice cheered again. He says, just doing this to get into the top 3. So there you go. Oh, so I guess now would be a good time. Number 1, let's check sub count, guys. Let's see how we are doing with subs. We're down to only 2 subs. We only have 2 subscribers to the channel. We've lost all those subs overnight, I guess. No, I'm kidding. Sub count doesn't seem to be working. I just did the sub count command and nothing happened. So I don't know how many subs we have because it didn't update. Let me try one more time. If it doesn't work, I'll try again later today. Yeah. Oh, here we go. We're at 432 subscribers. I don't know why it was so delayed. By the way, Nightbot lost his sub, so he used the sub hype emo and it didn't work. How depressing. Poor Nightbot lost his subscription. But anyway, 432 subs is good. Thank you guys very much. We're above the subs goal. You know, with today, the conclusion of Detroit, and tomorrow, Street Fighter Collection, maybe we will even get a nice little boost for the end of the month. We'll see. Okay. All right. So thank you guys very much for that. Now, shout out to the top 10. The top 10 contributors. All right. Let's give a shout out to them. Let's actually go from last place to first place. I think I'm going to do that from now on. It's better to do last place to first place. All right. So, we don't even have 10 yet. We don't. We don't have 10. We have 9. So we have a triple tie for last place between Texas Test Tube, my mom, and the Honest Troll. Then in 6th place, we have Third Eye the Third. In 5th place, we've got Sidella. In 4th place, we've got King Swaggins. In 3rd place, we've got Timbo Slice. In 2nd place, we've got Judicious Echoes. And in 1st place, we've got Infinite 55. Thank you guys very much for your contributions so far today. Appreciate that. Also, Timbo Slice to shoot again. He said it came out that SmackDown will be moving to the main Fox network to replace UFC because ESPN now has UFC rights and no longer Fox. Well, there you go. And Timbo Slice cheered again so that he could get number 1. Timbo Slice has jumped over everyone else to number 1 on the cheer leaderboards for the week. So thank you, Timbo, for that. All right, I'm about to end the pre-stream, guys, but just to remind you, the best way you can support me right now is to tip me because tips are helping me out tremendously. Right now, all my bills are clearing, and I don't want to overdraw my accounts. I am in desperate, not desperate, but in a risk of that happening. So any tips that you give me today, I will go straight to my bank account and help me out. So please consider tipping. You can either use the tips button, the tip jar button below the stream, or type !tip into the stream chat to bring up the link. That is the way you can help me the most. I still appreciate cheers and subs, but tipping is the way to go if you really want to help. Okay? Okay, guys. That is it. Thank you guys very much. Let's now end the pre-stream, and let us begin the conclusion of Detroit Become Human, which I hope you guys are excited for. I am certainly excited for it. And I definitely want to see how it all ends. All right? All right. Thank you, guys. All right, let me get my headphones on. Let me make sure the sound still works, and then we'll begin, okay? All right,